First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
We're seeing dark skies and close to daily record highs for our Wednesday. With clouds rolling in, Gainesville is forecast to receive rain and high wind gusts this evening. This is First at 5 from WUFT News. I'm Emily Palazzotto.
And I'm Loren Miranda. Thanks for joining us.
We go straight to WUFT's Julia Haley with the weather forecast. And Julia, it sounds like we have a lot to look forward to, am I right?
We really do. We have triple threat weather for our Wednesday with that heat, those showers, and also those wind gusts. Tracking that squall line as it makes its way toward Gainesville, seeing that cold front right behind it. Will it bring us cooler temperatures? I'll tell you a little bit more later. But take a look at our wind alerts. We have a wind advisory throughout most of North Florida, and this means that you want to put all of your loose items away if they are outdoors because they may be blown over with those 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Temperatures currently sitting in the 80s, which is very high for this time of year. Seeing differences in the teens, an 11-degree increase here in Gainesville, even a 14-degree increase in Jacksonville. Now, looking into the future for this Wednesday, that cold front is going to be passing through this evening. That squall line bringing us showers for this evening as well, so you may want to have a rain jacket handy or an umbrella as that cold front makes its way through Gainesville and North Central Florida. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. The city of Gainesville held corridor walks with residents along 13th Street and West University Avenue today to gather feedback on how to increase pedestrian and cyclist safety in the city.
WUFT's Jake Reyes takes us to the block where the initiative is in full swing.
Emily, Loren, I walk along this street on West University Avenue to concern Gainesville residents about pedestrian and bicycle safety. I spoke with a man named Mike, and he told me that he's seen too much and he just wants to see change along this street. According to a city study, in the past 5 years there have been more than 175 crashes involving a pedestrian or cyclist along parts of 13th Street and University Avenue. About 86% of these crashes resulted in injury or death. Now, Commissioner Brian Eastman says the city of Gainesville just wants to ensure their residents can discuss safety concerns on a guided tour.
Our city is committed to being a Vision Zero city, meaning no person will die on any of our roads. And one of our main areas where people are getting hurt is right here on University Avenue. We've had people down near the university and going east that have been hurt.
Eastman says there are improvements that need to be made, so the feedback will help the city build a pedestrian-friendly path along 13th Street and University Avenue. Now, there is no timeline of when these infrastructure projects will actually begin, but time is running out to participate in these projects. The last one to participate in will be at tomorrow at 1 o'clock p.m. Reporting in Gainesville, Jake Reyes, WUFT News.
The University of Florida community faces a new cybersecurity threat. UFIT experts warn that multi-factor authentication attacks are on the rise on campus. This means that a hacker will send an influx of requests to the Duo app used to approve sign-ins, hoping that you approve one. If you do end up approving one, that hacker has access to your account. Though this warning was just targeted to the UF community, it could happen to anyone who uses two-factor authentication on bank accounts, medical records, or anywhere else. UFIT says the best course of action to take is to reject any unwanted requests you receive. But if you do receive one, it means the hacker has your password and you should change it anywhere you used it.
I'll be sure to be on the lookout. You know, Emily, technology has been raising a lot of issues on the UF campus recently. Between this and TikTok, it's always in the news.
I've noticed that too, and it doesn't end there. Later, we've got more on our special series Behind the Bet, which is all about illegal sports betting on college campuses like our own. But first, the illegal snake trade has its own sting, but not the venomous kind. We'll tell you all about it after the break.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Welcome back. A South Florida Jewish woman is sounding the alarm after finding anti-Semitic flyers in her driveway. Reporter Suji Nam tells us how the community and officials are reacting to the pamphlets.
This is so horrible that this is going on in the world.
Tina Podhurst couldn't believe it when she found anti-Semitic flyers in her driveway and more scattered throughout her neighborhood.
Growing up in the South, I've had things said to me. I've been saluted.
She tells us she's been a victim of hate speech, but nothing like this before.
I'm scared to leave my house now.
The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office said they received similar pamphlets over the weekend.
Doesn't matter if we make up some of the cabinet or we make up some of, what does it say, Biden's administration? So what?
This is despicable and it's cowardly.
Officials say no charges will be filed, however, due to freedom of speech.
Even hate speech gets constitutional protection. Now, if the hate is accompanied by a crime like assault, battery, then we can use our anti-hate crime law to charge the crime and then enhance the penalty. But there is no separate hate crime law in Florida.
Because of this, leaders from Palm Beach County and the community will meet tomorrow and hold a roundtable to discuss the problem.
Legislators can go back to Tallahassee and hopefully look at the laws about broadcasting messages on private buildings without the owner's consent. Perhaps they can make that a crime. It's not a crime right now. Perhaps they can give local governments more power to enforce its anti-littering laws, to really hit these folks in the pocketbook. Make them pick up trash on highways too.
This comes after the hate speech projection during the UF Florida football game in October. The University of Florida has condemned anti-Semitic incidents like this one and all other forms of hatred and intolerance.
Wildlife law enforcement arrested 8 people for felony snake trafficking. You heard that right. This was part of Operation Viper, a multi-year investigation of the sale of venomous and prohibited reptiles. Over the course of the investigation, undercover authorities say they realize there's a strong black market for venomous reptiles in Florida. Buyers and sellers traded nearly 200 snakes, including some of the most dangerous in the world, like cobras and multiple species of viper. If some of these illegal and dangerous non-native species got loose or escaped, they could easily live and breed in Florida's climate. And speaking of Florida's climate, those warm temperatures are for sure making their way up to Gainesville. It is so sticky outside.
Not only is it sticky, it's windy too. I almost got blown away on the walk to class today.
Well, along with the heat and the wind, we also have the rain coming through this evening. Now, will these conditions last into your Thursday? Well, I'm Julia Haley with your full forecast in a few minutes.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
We had some severe thunderstorm warnings over in the Panhandle, but now really just watching the squall line as it moves its way eastward toward Gainesville, this cold front coming along with it for this evening. So this evening, looking at that wind advisory. Now this means if you have any loose items outside, you want to bring them inside so they don't fly away. Those wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour and even more in some areas. Currently seeing 32 miles per hour in Gainesville, 33 in Waldo and Stark and Brooker, 28 in Newberry. So a windy day, and not only a windy day, but those winds giving us a warm day as well, hitting almost record highs here in Gainesville. So 78 degrees in Gainesville, 81 in Ocala, 83 the Villages, and 77 in Palatka. And now we warmed up even into the teens, so an increase in the teens here in Gainesville, 11 degrees increase, and also in Ocala, 12 degrees increase in the Villages, and a 17-degree increase in Palatka from what we saw yesterday, 21 degrees in St. Augustine. An exceptionally warm day outside, especially for January. On our campus cam, look at those skies, those clouds rolling in, 79 degrees outside of our studio with those breezy winds outside. Look at that. You can even see the storm start to form here in Gainesville. So if you're expecting to go to the game tonight, we do have that wind advisory in effect with those showers. If you're walking to the game or walking back from the game, you will probably see some showers around the time of the basketball game. So that means that you might see some slick roads. You may want to bring an umbrella as well. But we are getting drier, and this means that we are going to see some cooler temperatures. Look at that, 59 degrees for Gainesville, 62 for Ocala tomorrow, and even 63 for the Villages. And that's almost a 20-degree difference from what we saw today. Now take a look at our future radar. We do have that snowstorm around Illinois and into Boston, but here in Gainesville, really just seeing that cold front and that squall line move past throughout Wednesday and into Thursday morning, seeing forming that high pressure system. Now this is going to bring us that drier and cooler weather for the rest of the week. Saturday, look at your high in the mid 60s and even into Sunday, rising, that warming trend happening. Look at those cloudy skies as well. Now in Gainesville, you're going to see that wind advisory until about 7 p.m. Those showers lasting throughout the evening, and we are cooling down into Friday. So look at your 6-day outlook, that warming trend starting Thursday as we cool back down below average for this time of year and warming up above average, and then seeing another chance for showers around Monday. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Julia. WUFT News continues its special series Behind the Bat today on illegal sports betting on college campuses.
In today's installment, our very own Alexis Ashby tells us about the mechanisms bookies and bettors use to bet illegally in Florida. Alexis?
Illegal sports betting websites look nearly identical to their legal counterparts, yet the structures behind both are very different. In today's section, users of these illegal sites explain how they use apps like Venmo to pay and receive bets, despite the company saying they strictly prohibit the transactions.
And many of the local bookmakers, which is amazing to me, if you go on their websites, it looks identical to any regulated form of gambling by the Seminole casinos or DraftKings or FanDuel. All those, they look identical.
While legal sportsbooks require you to verify your age and location before betting, on illegal sportsbooks, there's no verification necessary, meaning people of all ages and in all locations can bet.
I'd say I was first introduced into sports betting early in high school, just through like friends and kind of just like as a trendy thing. I started as a bookie in senior year of high school.
And how much did you sell your book for?
It was $25,000 split between me and my partner, and then we gave $500 to each of our agents. So I think I ended up walking away with around $10,000.
Toward the bottom of Venmo's user agreement, it states that it is bound by UGIA and prohibits fund transfers connected to unlawful internet gambling.
None of my payments have been flagged, luckily.
No, my transfers haven't been flagged, and most people I know haven't had an issue when using Venmo.
If it can be flagged and they're ignoring it, yes, the company can get in federal trouble for that. And that would probably be the entity that they would want to go after.
This series comes shortly after the largest expansion of legalized sports betting in U.S. history and explores causes and potential consequences of the changes. You can view all of my work by visiting wuft.org. For now, back to you.
Thanks, Alexis. That leads us right into sports with WUFT's Karina Wilson.
All right, Karina, so you're the sports expert. Let me know, what should I be betting on?
Well, don't get ahead of yourself. Betting isn't legal in Florida, but for a Gator fan in another state where it is legal who bet on Ben Shelton last night, they had to pay up. I've got the full rundown on Shelton's second ever Grand Slam event and his historic run at the Australian Open. All that and more after the break.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Welcome to sports. I'm Karina Wilson. Tonight, the Florida men's basketball team is back at home after 2 straight road games. WUFT's Jensen Young joins us live from the Stephen C. O'Connell Center.
Thanks, Karina. The Gator men take the court tonight against the South Carolina Gamecocks. They're winners of four of their last 5 games. South Carolina is just 1-5 against SEC teams, while Florida is 4-3 with an 11-8 record overall. Over the last 3 games, Florida has 2 players averaging double digits in Colin Castleton and Will Richard. The big question mark in tonight's game is, will Alex Fudge play? The sophomore forward has been listed as day-to-day leading up to the game tonight. Here's what Gator coach Todd Golden had to say about the status of Alex Fudge.
I mean, Alex is day-to-day. Didn't practice yesterday. We'll see how he's doing in a little bit here. Obviously, we're not going to get him back out there until he's ready, to both from a health standpoint, most importantly, and then, helping us win.
The rest of the roster should have a clean slate of health for the game, and action starts in just a couple hours. Back to you.
Thanks, Jensen. UF women's basketball signee Layla Reynolds was named a McDonald's All-American, becoming just the second athlete in Gators women's basketball history to receive the honor. Reynolds is the number 19 recruit in the nation. The 5-star guard is one of 24 athletes chosen to play in the McDonald's All-American game. The only other Gator to achieve this feat was Ronnie Williams in 2013. Orange and Blue fans can watch Reynolds in the McDonald's All-American game on March 28th at 6:30 p.m. on ESPN2. Former Florida tennis star Ben Shelton's Australian Open run came to an end. The collegiate national champion fell in the quarterfinals to fellow American Tommy Paul. In his second ever Grand Slam event, Shelton shocked the tennis world by making the quarterfinals as an unranked player. Shelton managed to push the match to 4 sets after winning the third set, 7-5. Paul advances as the first American semifinalist in the Australian Open in 14 years, as he prepares to take on the 4th-ranked player in the world, Novak Djokovic. Florida men's tennis head coach Brian Shelton, Ben's father, shared the advice he offers his son moving forward.
Well, I think I would just say run your race, son. Don't hold back. It's one of those moments where you want to feel like you left everything out there on the court. Have fun and just run your race.
The Gainesville High School boys varsity basketball team fell short of victory last night versus the Williston Red Devils. Williston captured the lead early, totaling 29 points in the first half alone. Senior guard Greg Maxwell had 2 threes in the first half. While the Hurricanes fought back, it wasn't enough to capture a home win. Late in the fourth quarter, Hurricane senior Theo Stevens gets the and one, yet Gainesville was still down by 2. Stevens misses the free throw, but the offensive rebound is grabbed by senior Josh Hayes. Hayes got a shot off, but the Red Devils managed to escape with a 43-41 win. Gainesville prepares to now face district rival Buchholz Friday at 7:30 p.m. In Gator football news, head coach Billy Napier and his crew added a new offensive lineman to their roster. The program announced today that former 5-star prospect and Kentucky transfer Keontae Goodwin will be joining the squad. Goodwin stands at 6'8", 351 pounds. He was ranked the number 6 offensive tackle of the class of 2022 per 24/7 Sports' composite rankings. Goodwin is the 3rd addition to Florida's offensive line.
Thanks, Karina. Now, in the world of sports, I know the Gasparilla Bowl isn't until the end of the year, but Gasparilla is just days away, which means the Pirates are coming.
Oh, yes, they are. For more than a century, Tampa, Florida has faced an invasion of marauders and buccaneers trying to take over the city. This year is no exception. Thousands are expected to descend on downtown Tampa Saturday for the annual pirate invasion, followed by a parade with dozens of crews and floats. Today, they kidnapped the mayor to demand a key to the city and avoid a costly takeover battle. But Mayor Jane Castor refused to surrender. Every year, the unruly looters take over the city in honor of the mythical, legendary pirate, Jose Gaspar.
Well, whether you're heading to Tampa to see this or not, you'll want to know the weather. Julia, give us one last look at what we can expect in the skies.
If you're heading to the Gators basketball game, you're going to see those showers as you walk in, and you're also going to see a wind advisory in effect, meaning that we have up to 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts in the area. So make sure you bring a jacket with you or some kind of umbrella, and make sure that you don't, of course, get slick on the road. So temperatures currently rising up. Look at that as we do start in the 50s, which is below average for this time of year. We are rising back into the upper 70s, and this is above average. So another weird week for Florida with those anomalies for this week, and we will see some showers on Monday. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. BBC World News is next, and the PBS NewsHour is coming up at 7.
But remember, your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. Have a good night.